The narcissist's false self, how they create a persona. From the editorial staff of UnderstandNarcissism.com. Unmasking Narcissism. Understanding the purpose and impact of the false self. Narcissists are often characterized by a striking contradiction. On the surface, they exude confidence, charm, and superiority. Yet beneath this facade lies a fragile sense of self-worth. To bridge this gap, narcissists create a false self, a carefully constructed persona designed to protect their insecurities, seek admiration, and control how others perceive them. This false self enables narcissists to hide vulnerabilities and project an idealized version of themselves, often leaving others unaware of their underlying issues. In this podcast, we'll explore the concept of the narcissist's false self, how it's created and maintained, and how it impacts those in relationships with narcissists. What is the false self? The false self is an identity that narcissists create to mask their insecurities and present a highly controlled, idealized image to the world. This persona often emphasizes qualities the narcissist believes will earn admiration, respect, or even fear. Unlike a healthy self-image, which incorporates both strengths and weaknesses, the narcissist's false self is a rigid, one-dimensional facade that denies vulnerability. The false self allows the narcissist to hide their deep-seated feelings of inadequacy and to construct an image that aligns with their need for superiority. To maintain this persona, they rely on constant validation, admiration, and control, which they seek from those around them. Why narcissists create a false self? Narcissists construct this false self as a defense mechanism. At its core, the false self protects against painful feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Here are some of the main reasons why narcissists rely on the false self. Shielding vulnerability. The false self allows narcissists to avoid confronting their insecurities, fears, and past wounds. By projecting a grandiose image, they create a buffer between themselves and the feelings they wish to deny. Seeking admiration and validation. Narcissists need constant validation to feel worthy. Their false selves are designed to impress, gain admiration, and solicit approval, fulfilling their deep-seated need for external validation. Controlling others' perceptions. Narcissists fear being seen as anything less than ideal, and the false self helps them control how others view them. They use this persona to create an image of perfection, competence, or strength, hiding the reality of their flawed or vulnerable inner self. Avoiding accountability. Narcissists can avoid taking responsibility for their flaws or mistakes by projecting an idealized self. The false self makes it easier to shift blame, deny wrongdoing, and maintain a sense of superiority without confronting reality. How the false self manifests. The narcissist's false self can take many forms, often tailored to suit the environment or relationship. Here are some common ways the false self manifests: grandiosity and superiority. The false self often portrays an exaggerated sense of importance or talent. Narcissists may boast about their achievements, skills, or status, presenting themselves as uniquely capable or deserving of admiration. Charm and charisma. Narcissists may present a charming or charismatic persona to draw people in. This charm is often superficial and strategic, aimed at gaining others' trust, admiration, or support. Role-playing. Narcissists sometimes adopt roles that align with the false self they want to portray. For example, they may act as a selfless caregiver in social situations to earn praise while using a domineering persona in private settings to control family members or partners. Exaggerated accomplishments. To reinforce their false self, narcissists often embellish or fabricate stories about their achievements. They may claim credit for successes that aren't theirs, or invent personal stories that make them appear accomplished or special. Victimhood. Some narcissists adopt a victim persona, especially if they feel it will draw sympathy or allow them to avoid accountability. They present themselves as misunderstood or wronged, gaining others' empathy while maintaining control over the narrative. Perfectionism and image management. The false self may be meticulously maintained, with the narcissist obsessing over appearance, social media presence, or the right associations. This perfectionism helps reinforce the image they wish to present, even if it means hiding their genuine emotions or motives. The impact of the false self on relationships. Being in a relationship with someone who operates from a false self can be challenging and confusing. Here's how the false self affects those closest to the narcissist. Emotional disconnect. The false self is a mask that prevents genuine emotional intimacy. Those in relationships with narcissists may feel as though they're dealing with a superficial version of the person, unable to connect on a deeper level. Unpredictable behavior. The narcissist's need to maintain their persona can lead to shifting moods and expectations, leaving partners, friends, and family members feeling as though they're always on uncertain ground. Idealization and devaluation cycles. When others buy into the narcissist's false self, they may be initially idealized and valued. However, as soon as they fail to feed the narcissist's ego or question the persona, they're often devalued or even discarded. Sense of isolation. The false self creates a barrier that makes it difficult for others to understand or relate to the narcissist truly. Partners and family members may feel alone in the relationship, as if they're always dealing with a role rather than a natural person. Emotional manipulation. The false self often includes traits designed to manipulate others' emotions through charm, intimidation, or guilt. This manipulation can leave others feeling unsure of their perceptions, fostering dependency on the narcissist's approval. Recognizing the false self. Identifying the false self in a narcissist can be challenging, as it is often deeply ingrained and carefully maintained. Here are some signs that you may be dealing with a narcissist's false self. Lack of authentic vulnerability. Narcissists operating from a false self rarely reveal their genuine emotions. Their vulnerability may seem rehearsed or calculated to evoke sympathy or admiration. Discrepancies in behavior. The narcissist may act differently depending on the setting or audience, shifting personas to fit what they believe will gain the most admiration or control. Obsessive image management. Narcissists often curate their social media presence or public persona to present an idealized version of themselves. They are frequently more concerned with how they appear to others than how they feel or behave. Inconsistent values or beliefs. The narcissist's beliefs and values may shift depending on what serves their image. They may present themselves as compassionate one day, only to act selfishly the next if it suits their goals. How to protect yourself from the false self. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, recognizing the false self is an essential first step in protecting yourself. Here are some strategies. Maintain realistic expectations. Recognize that the narcissist's false self is unlikely to change. Trying to get them to reveal their true selves may lead to disappointment or frustration. Don't buy into the persona. Avoid reinforcing the narcissist's false self by showering it with admiration or feeding into their need for validation. Instead, remain neutral and realistic in your interactions. Set firm boundaries. Narcissists often test boundaries to see if others will support their idealized persona. By setting firm boundaries, you can protect your emotional well-being and limit the narcissist's control over you. Seek support and validation. Outside. Because the false self can make relationships feel isolating, building a support system outside of the narcissist can provide balance, perspective, and validation. Focus on self-care. The false self can be draining to those who interact with it. Prioritizing self-care can help you maintain your emotional health and perspective, preventing burnout in your relationship with a narcissist. Seeing through the false self. The false self is a core element of narcissistic behavior, a mask designed to protect the narcissist from insecurity and present an idealized image to the world. Recognizing this facade can help you manage your expectations, set boundaries, and protect yourself from emotional manipulation. Understanding the false self is also a reminder that the narcissist's behavior stems from deep-rooted insecurities, not the confidence they outwardly project. The information provided in this article is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice. We are not licensed clinicians, mental health professionals, lawyers, or legal advisors. For any concerns regarding mental health or personal situations, please seek advice from a qualified professional. For more details, please read our full disclaimer.